Everyone, welcome to another episode of the Smith.ai Master Series. We've got a webinar today with Darren Shaw of Whitespark. And today's topic that he's going to cover is how to increase your local search rankings. And basically, Darren has surveyed the top local SEO experts, and we were just chatting about some of who I actually know myself, who many of you may know as well. They might be your marketing leader, your marketing agency owner. So he surveyed them, and he, in this annual report of local search ranking factors, is able to determine the best insights gleaned out of the ranking factors, what you need to know to rank in Google's local results, and how you can leverage these search ranking trends, not just in this year, but also over the last few years, and what they foresee for 2022 to get the most online exposure for your business. So Darren's going to cover marketing tactics to improve your search rankings, important changes between the recent years and then what we expect to happen in 2022, and local SEO pitfalls to avoid. So obviously, we want to cover the trends and then also the do's and the don'ts. Darren, very good to have you here. I will introduce you in just one moment. For a brief interlude, I wanted to at least say that this series is put on by Smith.ai. So I'm Maddy Martin. I'm the VP of Marketing at Smith.ai, and we are here to provide 24/7 receptionist services for calls, chats, texts, and Facebook messages. When you get that local SEO juice flowing, we are here to answer that inbound demand that is going to come your way. It's going to come to your Facebook page. It's going to come to your website. It's going to come, ringing on those phone calls and texting to hopefully not your cell phone and your business phone. We can answer that for you. We can even make outbound calls when those folks fill out your web forms and reach you by email, etc. So consider us your frontline team. And if we can help, please do reach out and learn more about our services at smith.ai. Now, without further ado, Darren, so nice to have you here. Thanks for taking a break from your busy roadshow as you sort of trot out the annual local search ranking factors report. Can you introduce yourself and then we can get into the presentation?
Yeah, definitely. Thanks a lot, Maddy. I appreciate that. It's great to be here. I like that. I liked your setup with Smith.ai. This presentation will help you learn how to drive more leads for local search, and Smith.ai will help you close them. So it's a pretty good bunch there. I'm Darren Shaw. I'm the founder of Whitespark. Whitespark is a SaaS company and services company that specializes in helping businesses rank better in local search. So we have rank tracking software, we have citation analysis software, we have reputation management software, we've got a full SEO team that does the SEO work, and then we got a whole team that does listings work as well. So that's Whitespark. We've been operating since 2005. Have been a SaaS company since 2010. And today I'm here to talk to you about the local search ranking factors. So this is a survey originally developed by David Mim. And then I took over in 2017. David handed the reins to me very graciously. And so now I've been running that survey for the last few editions. And it's just this amazing survey that allows, that surveys the top experts in local search, people that really know what they're doing. They're in the trenches doing this work for their clients. And so I'm asking them, what are the things that you're seeing that impacts rankings more than other things? And so it really helps you kind of build this great to-do list about, what you need to do to rank in local search. So that's me. And that's a little intro to what we're going to talk about.
Awesome. Thanks, Darren. Well, feel free to share your screen and we can get into it.
All right, great. I got someone in the chat here. Let's see. It's you.
Me. There we go. Well, you willed it into being. So There's a question already about optimizing our listings. We are a remote business, so I'm sure you'll get to that.
It's like the most classic question for sure. All right, thank you for that question, Tim. Let me give the presentation, and I think we'll come back to this one. We'll definitely answer it at the end.
Awesome. Okay, we'll make sure of it. Thanks, Tim.
Let me first hit this presentation mode. All right, I am in presentation mode. I'm going back over here, and I'm sharing my screen. Share. this one. All right. So it is. This is a presentation. I've given this presentation recently at our Whitespark Local Search Summit. That's a 3-day summit where we also talked to all the local search experts about various things. Maddy actually presented at the Local Search Summit.
Good.
All right. So what is the survey? I gave you a brief introduction to it already. It's this survey. Here's a screenshot from the 2020 version. I've actually just recently published the 2021 version of this. But, we're basically looking at, how does Google weight these different things? So at the grand scale, specific sections of factors like Google My Business signals, review signals, website signals, links, etc. And so, as I mentioned, it was first developed by David Mim in 2008. If you don't know who David Mim is, he's definitely one of the most influential, smartest people in local search. Him and Mike Blumenthal are my go-tos for any sort of next level, really understanding what's driving local search. And so David Mim passed this on to me in 2017, and I've been doing it since. And so we're asking these 42 some people all kinds of questions about what they're seeing impact local search. And so the amazing thing is that when you ask all 42 of those people and you aggregate the data, you really get to zone in on what is having a huge impact. And so it is a survey of opinion. There's no empirical sort of research happening here, but lots of these opinions are based off of research that these practitioners are doing. Sterling Sky is well represented on this. They do a ton of research in the space. They're analyzing, testing things, and all of these people are testing, trying things, seeing what is working for their clients. So the first thing I look at is the sort of breakdown of these general themes. So you can take all these signals, like let's say Google My Business signals would be like your primary category, your description, even though it doesn't impact rankings. I'll talk about that later. How close you are to the searcher. We call those GMB signals. And so the first question I ask the practitioners and the survey participants is, how do you think Google weights these different areas of the local search algorithm? So, how important are the GMB signals, which is now called Google Business Profile? So GBP, not to be confused with Great Britain pounds. Is that what GBP stands for? I don't know. But basically, I asked them to sort of weight this and all these different signals to add up to 100. And then okay, before I get into the results, I want to just make sure it's clear. Everybody knows what we're talking about. This is a local pack. Looks like this in the search results. You do a search like plumbers, personal injury lawyers, that kind of thing. And then if you hit more places, you get this thing called the local finder. This is the result of the 2021 thematic breakdown. So you can see that GMB is taking up a huge chunk of the pie at 36%. Reviews 17%, website, so on page is website 16%, and links 13%. The rest of that other stuff, it's kind of secondary. It's still helpful. You definitely want to do citations. Behavioral signals are things like, are people spending a lot of time on your website? Are they clicking through from the search results? But you really see this massive chunk on the GMB side of things. And it's cool to look at how things have changed over last year to this year. And you can see it didn't really change too much, but GMB went up a little bit. But when you look at the changes over the last, let me just move this out of the way. It's like, see, since 2013, now you really start to see some interesting trends. And so you can see that from 2015 to 2021, Google has actually increased quite a bit. They've gone from 15% to 25% to 33%, and now they're like 36%. So this has been like pretty significant growth of GMB in terms of its importance in the local search algorithm. So reviews have also seen a rise, and you can also look over here and see citations have seen a decline in importance. So it's just like the participants are seeing that the stuff in Google seems to have more of an impact on rankings than something like citations. That's the message here. Reviews are certainly important. Website and links have sort of maintained their importance over the last 5 years. And so this is just giving you a sense of how perceptions have shifted over time. GMB in particular, this is the one to highlight. You can see 15, 25, 33, 36, just this growth over time. It's really important to see. Now, one of the things I always want to tell people is that you might see in that pie chart that Google is 36% of sort of the weighting. And that's because there are 5 particular signals that are heavily weighted. And that is your primary category in Google. That has a massive impact on ranking. You change that primary category, it can have a huge impact, like 20 position increase in rankings overnight by switching your primary category. So it's a major signal. Same thing with keywords in the business name. If you put keywords in your business name, so let's say your business name is, JM Law, and then you decide, oh, we're going to rebrand, and we change our name to GM Personal Injury Lawyers Atlanta, for example. Now your rankings will skyrocket overnight. Next day, potentially #1 ranking. So it has such a huge impact. And then another one is proximity. So if you are really close to the searcher, that has a huge impact. That's bucketed under this sort of GMB signals as well. And so these signals have such a massive impact that's why we see this weighting of 36%. But it's important to note that there's actually not a lot of optimization work to do in Google. You don't have to spend a lot of time optimizing that. You should put the bulk of your efforts into making sure you're getting reviews, working on your website, and getting links. And so that 36% doesn't represent 36% of the work that you should do in local SEO. It represents the weighting, like these signals that have just sort of way more importance than other things. They just have a huge impact on rankings. All right, so the next question I asked the participants is, what individual factors, so rather than these sort of groupings, what individual factors do you think have the biggest impact on local path finder rankings? And then the way the participants do this is they take factors from the left side, they drag them to the right side. These are all these sort of different individual signals. And then they sort them in what they think is like most important to least important. So when you get 42 people doing that, and then you aggregate all the data, you sort of score them up, you add them all up, you can kind of get this sort of thing that breaks down as to what is the absolute most important factor, the signals that seem to have the greatest impact on rankings versus signals that have less impact. And so here are the top 15. The top 15 are #1, primary category. #2, I mentioned this already, keywords in the GMB business title. Proximity of address to the searcher, just being located in the city of search, and then additional GMB categories. These ones are all really key that you've gotta get dialed in. Same thing with your reviews and ratings. I actually think this one's kind of funny. This high numerical Google ratings, my personal opinion is that volume of reviews is more important than your rating. If you only have 2 reviews and you got a 5-star rating, that's not going to help you rank as well as having 300 reviews and a 4.2 star rating. So I would actually not put as much emphasis on this, but this is what you get with the survey of multiple practitioners all sort of putting things in. Keywords in reviews is a big one too, having lots of keywords in your Google reviews. This slide deck will be shared with all of you, so you don't have to frantically write this down or try to screenshot this. We'll share the slide deck. And then you can also always go and see the full survey results at whitespark.ca. We have it under our learning section, local search ranking factors. The full analysis and everything is in there as well. And so if you look at changes over time, so how did we see much movement compared to last year? Not a lot. There's a few things that seem to be a little bit more important, like, primary category grew in importance, keywords and business title grew a little bit more in importance, physical address in search grew in importance. We know what we're talking about here. When we say physical address in city of search, we're talking about your business is physically located in the suburb, but you want to attract local search traffic from the big city, forget it. It's just like the local search algorithm doesn't work that way. And so being located in the city that you want to rank in is an absolutely critical thing. It's extremely rare for Google to pull in results from outside cities. So that's what we're talking about with that signal. So there's a few things that change. One of the things I want to talk about is that these are new factors I added this year. So internal linking across the entire website. That one came out of nowhere. Now it's ranking number 14. And same thing with proper placement of the map pin. Those are really important things to make sure that you're doing. New signals that I became aware of, and I was like, I can't believe the survey doesn't have that, so I added them this year. And then some signals are really increasing. Age of GMB listing is an important one. So the example here is that you can have, so we've seen cases where a listing has a problem with it. Let's say it gets suspended or something. And so instead of instead of kind of fixing that one and getting up and running, a brand new listing is created. And when that happens, rankings fall off the map. Even if they move all the reviews from the old listing to the new one, no rankings whatsoever. It's just like you're starting from this clean slate. And so local search practitioners are becoming aware of this, that age and sort of history that the Google business profile has built up over the last 10 years or whatever is really important. And if you lose that, you don't want to lose it. So the age of your listing definitely plays a role. And then another one that's seen some increase was keywords in your headings. So it's really important to make sure that your headings on your website have your primary keywords in them. One of the factors that dropped was keywords in anchor text of inbound links to domain. I don't know if that's really an important thing. I just think people are like, well, we're spending less time trying to optimize anchor text. It's just not a thing that to do. So let's talk about a couple of shifts. One of the ones that's really interesting is proximity of address to the point of search. There's not a huge change there, but it did spark my interest and made me kind of look at this. Back in 2017, I wrote an article on the Moz blog where I talked about how proximity to searcher is this thing that's so important. It has an outsized impact on rankings more than anything else in local search. I thought for sure it's absolutely the #1 local search ranking factor. So I wrote this post on Moz. Well, good news. It seems like they've turned down the dial on this signal, which is really good news because it was way overdone. And if you look back in 2017, this is an example I used in the blog post. I noticed that, I did a search for something like plumbers. These 3 plumbers on the left-hand side there in 2017, they were all within like a 10-minute walk of me. Like I could walk to all these businesses. I'm looking for a plumber. I don't care if they're down the street. I want the best plumber in the city. And these results were crap. They were bad results. Google was putting too much emphasis on its location and how close it was to me. So it was ranking these stupid businesses. They didn't even have any reviews. Totally lame results. Google has now appeared to have fixed that. So if you look now, I run a search for plumbers, and I did this when I saw this in the results. Look at these results, way better. I've got businesses from all over the city, and these other signals are playing an important role in their rankings. They've got lots of reviews. They probably have a great website. All of the things that you think should be important are being factored in here. So good job, Google. I'm really happy that they've fixed this. Same thing. Here's another example. This was a search for painters. Crummy results, great results. So Google really seems to have dialed down the importance of proximity. And, I'm proud of you. Good job, Google, because those results sucked before. But now you really have to do keywords in the business name. Like this is a ridiculous signal. It has a massive impact. And this is why you see so much spam in the search results. Every dang personal injury lawyer or criminal defense lawyer just stuffing keywords in their business name because it has an incredible impact on ranking. So Google, that's the next one. You got to fix that one next. Another thing that decreased in importance was spam fighting. So the idea of spam fighting really kind of ties into this keywords in the business name is that as let's say an SEO agency, you go out there and you're like, oh, these 5 businesses are stuffing keywords in their business name in Google, but that's not actually their business name. So you report them, they get the keywords taken out of their business name and they fall in the rankings and your business goes up. Great strategy. It was all the rage in 2020 when I did this survey. But people are exasperated by this because it is just not working anymore. It's like Google is not actioning this stuff. It's just the comments are full of people saying, you know what, spam fighting used to be important, but now it's just a waste of time because Google is not responding to these. It's just, they just don't care. So it's just this frustrating tactic that used to be hot, now it's not anymore. Now, let's talk about local organic results. I want to show you what those are. So we actually survey the participants in two ways. So one was like, hey, what do you see driving those pack finder results? And the other one is like, what do you see driving local organic results? And local organic, that's the blue links that appear under the pack. So those are just like regular search results. And so they're separated from the pack, and you can rank really well down there and not be in the pack, or you can rank well in the pack, but not be down there. If you can get both of them, then you're killing it. And generally, if you rank really well down in the local organic results, you tend to rank really well in the pack too, because Google puts a lot of emphasis on the local organic signals, which are, as you can see in this pie chart, really heavily weighted towards your website and links to your website. So it's like really getting into traditional SEO signals here. That's what we're talking about in this section here. So you can really see it in this bar chart here too. It's just like two huge towers coming up from website and links. That's what really is driving the local organic results more so than anything else. And then look at the comparison here. So if you look at what drives rankings in the local pack versus what drives local organic, big spikes on Google and reviews, and big spikes for the organic side on website and links. So now I ask the same question. What are the specific signals, the individual things you can do that will have the biggest impact on your rankings in your local organic results? And so this is things like links to your website, how much content do you have on your website, internal linking across your website. That's the new signal I added now. It came in number 3 as a really important, valuable thing you can do to improve your rankings. This is a tactic that all the local search people are excited about. It's this weird tactic because it's been around since the dawn of SEO, but right now it's the new hot thing that people are like, hey, I should internally link all my pages. And it's like, yeah, I should have been doing that for 15 years. So it's coming in hot, this like doing internal linking. And what it really summarizes down to is adding content. Let me just move this. I can't read my header here. Yeah, adding content and optimizing your website. So these are all those related signals. Again, you can get the slides after. You can kind of review what these are. It's kind of like these act as a to-do list, right? I got to get keywords in my titles. I got to get internal linking. I got to add lots of content. So that's what we're talking about here. And then the next thing is links. So getting links to your website. So the quality of those links is more important than the quantity. That's what the first one is about. Getting keywords in the anchor text, that is important too. Really valuable on the organic side. Getting lots of links from locally relevant domains and industry relevant domains. Those are all really valuable things. And you know, I mentioned this earlier, but your local visibility, the local organic visibility is important because if you can rank down here, you're going to really improve your rankings up here. So some people think local search is just, Google, reviews, and citations, but it's not. Your website and the links to your website play a huge role in the local pack as well, because the algorithm is integrated, it all works together. So now I asked for this question, like, what have you been working on more? Like, what is the thing that you've spent more time on this year than you have in past years? And so these are the things that are really hot coming out of the survey this year. Things like keywords in the business title. And when we say that we're working on this more, you know what that means in this instance? It means officially rebranding your business. So you got to change it at the Secretary of State. You got to change it on your website. You got to change your logo. You got to change your signage outside your building. You got to change your letterhead. You got to call your phone company and say, hey, we have a new business name. Can you update our phone number with our records? Call the utility company, any government sources. And then you got to go around the internet and change all the directories that have your old name listed. You do that, you can reap all the rewards of ranking well because you have the keywords in the business name. Plus, you can never get suspended, and you can never have someone report you and have those keywords taken out of your name. This is how you do it. We've helped 2 clients do that. They have seen, it's like unbelievable the impact it's had on their business. Millions and millions of more dollars made because they did that, because Google stupidly puts way too much weight on that signal. So it's something for you to consider. It's like, do you want to make millions of dollars? Is it worth the month of hassle of going around and changing your business name? Yes, yes, it is. So what's the second one here? Oh, removal of spam listing through spam mining. And so apparently it's gone down in importance over on and the other thing, but it's apparently what's hot now. So this is what happens when you survey lots of people, and this is just the data. It's floated to the top. So I don't know what the message is here, but apparently some people are spending more time on that, so it's going up. Making sure you have a complete listing, internal linking across your website. That's really important. I'll just quickly tell you what that is. Internal linking across your website is you've written a blog post, you mention, dog bite cases, link that to your dog bite service page. You're a plumber, you have one page that talks about your homepage. It has these little snippets in the content itself. Make sure you're linking anything that you can internally link to different pages of your site. Just you're looking at the text content, looking for any opportunities to internally link to your other pages. That really helps everything lift up. It really has a big impact. That's what we're talking about there. And primary category, people spend time on that. And now I've asked, okay, well, what are you spending less time on? As always, this just comes down to citations. And so the message here is all this time spent on citations. I'm just spending less time on that. And it makes sense because I really believe, we have software that helps you analyze your citations. Citations is a business listing. Just if you didn't know, a citation is a mention of your name, address, phone number, somewhere on the web. Typically, it's on yellowpages.com or something like that. That's a citation, a business listing. So consistency used to be this thing that everyone cared about. It's like, oh man, if I don't have all my name, address, and phone number exactly the same on every directory, it's going to hurt my local search. So that is not true anymore. Used to be the case, isn't anymore. The myth has carried over still to 2021. So I'm here today to break that myth. If you think that citation consistency, NAP consistency, you may have heard that term before, is important, I'm telling you now it's not. Don't waste a second on that. It's only important on the sites that actually have real humans looking at your business data. And the reason for that is you want them to call the right phone number. You want them to go to the right address. So your Google should have the right information. Your Bing listing should have the right information. Your Apple Maps listing, your Facebook listing. These key sites are important to have consistent information only for the purpose of making sure people are calling the right number, going to the right address. The consistency is not really a negative SEO thing anymore. It used to be, but it's not anymore. So you don't have to worry about that. It's an important thing for everyone to realize. And so, of course, the practitioner is saying, I'm spending less time on consistency because I realize it doesn't have an impact. They're also spending less time on Google posts. I don't advise that. I think Google posts are great. I think you should definitely be doing them. They drive both justifications in the search results. You get this little badge that says, oh, they definitely do that service. It's great to have Google posts that back up that, and you get these little things that highlight and cause people to click on your listing. So yeah, that's what we see here, citations and some Google post stuff. So whatever, people are spending less time on it. I'll talk about conversions. It might not impact ranking, but Google posts impact conversion, and I'll talk about that in a second. So I want to bust some myths. I love this question. It's like, what are some things that absolutely do not impact rankings? And then the sort of subtext here is, but people seem to think it does. And so I'd love to bust these myths. The number one is this geotagged photos. You may have seen this before, that you have to add EXIF data or metadata to your images. You put that stuff in your images, then you upload them to Google, and they're going to have a big impact on your rankings. Nope. It does nothing. Google strips all that stuff out when you upload it. So that's a huge waste of time. Don't do any of that. And then a lot of these other ones are talking about keywords in other areas of your Google listing. So that's like your description, Google posts, keywords in your services. Google doesn't consider that at all. It does not have any impact on ranking. The only ones that have an impact on ranking within your Google listing is your categories, your primary, and the additional categories. And the business name. The other fields in Google have no impact on rank, but you should still fill them out because you want your listing to look good. I'll talk about conversions. So yeah, really happy to see your geotagging photos come down. These are 2 case studies where they proved, hey, we tried it, had no impact. And so Sterling Sky, Joe Hawkins did one, and this guy, Tim Callert, did one where he tested it, no impact. But it's really important, I think, there's another one on this list. I think it's like number 9 there, setting service area in GMB. This is a thing that people seem to think have an impact. What was Tim's question at the beginning there? I think this is related, but the service area stuff has no impact on rankings. So you can go ahead and add any service areas you want. You're still not going to rank in that area. The only thing that it draws this little picture on the map. It's totally useless. Hopefully Google changes this policy a little bit, but right now your rankings is completely based off of where you registered your address. Even if you hide your address in Google, the ranking is only based off of where you registered it, the actual address. So the proximity is like, you can rank about 10 miles around your business. This is another one too I wanted to highlight, is adding keywords to owner responses. No, that has no impact on ranking. Don't bother with that. Total waste of time. So which individual factors have the biggest impact on conversions from GMB? Maddy, did you want to interrupt with a question?
Oh, I just, let's make sure that we leave time. Maybe we'll wrap up in like 5.
I'm going to go real fast now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. So conversions from GMB, the thing I wanted to highlight here is that, you might rank number 1, but you might not get any leads because people are looking at your listing and it's just some basic information. You don't have anything, no photos, no Google posts, nothing is really speaking to them, whereas a lot of your competitors do. So it's really important to think about optimizing your Google listing for conversions. Really important. So there's some signals here that you need to think about. The summary is, if there's a field in Google, fill it out and then regularly add posts and regularly keep your Q&A up to date. Those kinds of things. Oh yeah, that's unrelated. We have a Google My Business management service where we do all that work for you. So we'll optimize your listing, we'll optimize you for SEO, and then we'll also do that ongoing work to make sure that your listing stands out and converts people from Google. So we have that service. The next question is, what are some things you can do that actually hurt your listings, hurt your rankings? And that is things like having the wrong category set, having a hacked site, any reports of violations, being at a fake address like a PO box or a virtual office. All these kinds of things can actually negatively impact your ability to rank. And so this local search ranking factors is really just this fantastic roadmap about how to rank in local search. What is all this? I already talked about this. Primary category, set your categories. This is a really cool tool you can use, GMB Spy. Now I'm going really fast because I want to have a bit of time for questions. Keywords in the business name, keywords in the business name. This is an example of impact of ranking keywords in the business name. So this multi-location business, before they had 250 keywords in positions 1 to 3, after 600 keywords ranking in positions 1 to 3. Incredible. Proximity to searcher. I've talked about all this stuff. Physical address, additional categories. Update your categories regularly. Sterling Sky has this great resource where they tell you when there's new categories. If you catch a new category that's relevant to your business, you add it, and your competitors haven't. It's a great way to rank. Spam fighting, proper placement of the map pin. If your map pin's in the ocean, it's going to hurt your rankings. That happens sometimes. Age of listing. Yeah, that's a good one. I talked about that. Reviews. Oh my God, I got too much stuff in here. I already talked about all this stuff. You can refer to the slide deck for more.
You have the whole slide deck that's available to you, unless you have
totally
photographic memory.
I will highlight this one though, because a lot of small businesses or local businesses are wondering how to build links. This article I wrote in 2016, it's long, it's an old article. I think it's still super relevant. All of the tactics in there are still like, that's exactly what I would recommend today about some ideas for how you can get links to your website. This is basically my last slide. So there we go. There is.
Cool. I included the link there actually in the chat earlier too.
Yeah, so that's where you can access the full resource and see everything. I do have to go a little early today, so sorry I blasted through those last slides. Check out the slide deck. Let me answer some questions.
Okay, awesome. Let's lightning round sort of get through a few questions, which there are so many as expected around virtual offices, and especially for service-driven businesses. Like, what do you do if you're working from home, you work from a virtual office? do you go the, shared office space route? Someone mentioned Regis, or do you take a different path?
Okay, so with a Regis office, you have a little bit of a target on your back. And so you could get your listing taken down. This is it's like a go-to strategy for lawyers. It's like lawyers have one location in the main city or in a suburb, and they're like, I want to rank in this other city too. So they open up a virtual office and they register a Google listing at it. I'm telling you, it works. So if it's working,
let it work until it doesn't, basically, right?
It's against the guidelines, but Google doesn't give a crap about their own guidelines. So it's like, whatever. I used to be like a real stickler for these. Oh, you're breaking the rules, but I don't really care anymore because Google doesn't seem to care. And so if it works, it works, but you kind of run the risk of that listing being taken down.
What's your backup plan, right?
Yeah, and honestly, oh no, my listing got taken down. Well, at least for the last 3 years, I made millions of dollars off of that location. So.
Okay, so be grateful what has happened and don't panic. Another response.
I would say that the better strategy is, so if you're like, oh, I like this, I want to be able to rank in these suburbs, I'm going to open up an office there. Just don't get a Regis office. The Regis office do have a bullseye on them. So instead of a Regis, just negotiate an actual lease with a proper office space, and the cheapest office space you can find that is like a closet. Just to be like, hey, I only want the closet. I only need 10 square feet. Can I have the closet? And I'll pay you $200 a month. So do that, and then the target's off your back, and it's the same strategy.
Great tip. All right, so moving on. So there's a question. Let me make sure that I get this correctly. Is there a possibility of not having a physical location? Basically, can you not sort of pay for any office space, or is that absolutely a requirement?
There's this whole strategy around that too, but you cannot rank in the local results, not the pack.
Okay. You can rank in the regular search results.
Local organic. We have a lot of clients that I've been working with them, I don't know, 10, 12 years or something now. Mm-hmm. But they, so years ago, we set up all these areas we serve pages. And so it's like, they're located in the main city, but they want to cover the whole state. And so in like the most populated cities, we created a page saying we serve this area. And so we made these 15 web pages that's like criminal defense lawyer in city. And then we optimized all the content for that. And in fact, what we did is we took their About Us page, and then we had 15 different writers rewrite the About Us page. We wanted to just rewrite it in different words. So we got sort of unique content. Then we kind of massaged the content a little bit for the specific city, added some stuff to it. We put those pages up on our website. Again, millions of dollars made off of these cities because a lot of those pages rank right underneath the pack, number 1, 2, or 3, because in these smaller markets, there's less competition. And they're a big firm with great presence in the big city, tons of links coming in, scholarship links, those kinds of things. And so these pages tend to rank really well, and they drive business. They get leads, they get calls all the time from these pages, but you can't rank in the pack unless you're doing the virtual office or closet office strategy.
Closet office, that's going to be a new thing. All right, let's talk about photos really quickly. There was a great question around, does the quality and type of photos matter? Who posts it, if it's a local guide, or is it of the actual physical location, people in the location, I don't know, office parties, whatever. What do the photos matter?
Is this question a plant? I don't know. Is like someone on my team here?
I don't think it's a plant.
This is my favorite topic in local search right now. I am so excited about photos. Photos are unbelievable. I'm still not sharing my screen here, right? Hang on. I'm going to stop sharing this.
Share your screen.
I want to show you something that is just awesome. Shoot. I'm not going to show you. I'm just going to tell you.
You can share your screen again.
It's okay. There's this thing called Google Vision AI. Google is currently analyzing the contents of your photo. And so you might throw up a photo. The example that Joel Headley presented in his Whitespark Summit presentation is just mind-blowingly awesome. And so they uploaded all these photos to Google Vision AI, and then Google analyzes a photo and says, this is a photo of X. And so they uploaded one photo. It's almost the exact same photo. It's a dentist working on a patient. He's kind of like crouched over. You can see the patient in the chair, all the dental equipment around. He's got his mask on and stuff. And you upload this one photo and it says in Google Vision AI, this is a photo of a man wearing glasses. It's like, that's the main things that Google pulled out of that photo. So now they say, okay, let's take a different angle. Make sure you hold up your tool a little bit. Oh, can you take your glasses off? They take another photo. Number one sort of object recognized in this photo is dentist. So what photo do you think is more valuable to upload to your Google listing? The one that says man with glasses or the one that says dentist? So the strategy here, the thing that's really amazing is to think about how is Google interpreting your photos? Run them all through Google Vision AI. You can Google it right now, Google Vision AI, and have this thing called Try It. And you just drag your photos in there and Google will tell you what's inside this photo. There's like this little tab that says objects identified. And so you do this, you check all your photos and you run through this. There's also this thing called aircam, air.cam, I think it is, or aircam.com or aircam.ai. I don't know. It's one of these domains, but aircam, this is an incredible service where they use Google Vision AI's API and they hire photographer. The photographer comes out, shoots your whole location, and all of the photos have a checklist. And they keep taking the photo until it meets all of these needs. And now you've got an archive of all these fantastically optimized photos that you can use on your website and you can use them on your Google listing. Photos, hot. It's the hottest thing. I tell you, next year when I do the local search ranking, it's gonna be like #1. People are like, oh my God, photos. I love them so much. I'm currently really excited about this because a lot of people haven't caught on to this yet. It's just, it's
competitive advantage.
It's exciting.
Totally. Oh, thank you, Michael, for posting that. I will actually share that with everyone.
Yeah, I love this photo thing so much. I'm really excited.
Awesome. So those 2 links are in the chat. The other question then is naturally from photos, video. So how much does video matter? If you have a YouTube channel, you know, are you talking about your location and stuff in there?
I think it's a natural extension, really, because we know Google's YouTube technology is next level. They are smart as hell at understanding what this video is about and transcribing video and all that kind of stuff. I think it plays a significant role. It's a great strategy. It's also one of these fantastic differentiators because a lot of businesses are not going to put in the effort to make good videos. And so I really like video. I like video up on your YouTube channel, and I like uploading your videos to your Google listing. And then of course, embedding them on your website. I think it's a great strategy, and you don't have to be professional studio about it. People that are killing it are just pumping up the content. So that means they have a thought about a case they just did or something like that. And they pull out their phone and they shoot a 2-minute video just talking about this specific case and the details of that case and why the client is so thrilled, and or just close the case. Just do that every time you close a case. I think I'm talking to a lot of lawyers here, so I keep using lawyer references. So, you know, every time you close a case, you just shoot a little video, talk about it, and just get that content out there. You can even have the video content transcribed and put into a section on your blog. It's just a great way to generate content. Love it.
Awesome. And yeah, don't overthink it. Just focus on the frequency and the relevance of the content instead of trying to make it perfect. You know, that's not something that Google is focused on, it seems like.
I think I could squeeze in one more question. What do you think? We have a good one?
I think with all the service providers here, especially in the Smith AI community and client base, you know, there are service listings, products and services that you can list on your Google My Business listing. How important is that for ranking factors?
So yeah, the products and services that you list on your listing will not actually impact ranking. They will 100% impact conversions. So do it. Do it, because when someone looks at your listing on Google, there's this concept that Mike Blumenthal coined called Google is your new homepage. And that means a lot of times people don't even have to go to your website. They're browsing all the lawyers in the local search results. They're assessing them based off of the reviews, the photos, the Google posts, the products, that kind of thing. And so that's where, you know, you want to think about converting people right from Google before they even hit your website. And so there's great opportunity there. You've got to invest the time. I have an awesome little hack for products. So cool. Service businesses can use products. You know, if you big question. That's a huge question. Okay, everyone focus. Put down your coffee. Let me send you a link here. Ogilvy. And then there's one little tiny question about languages, if we can sneak it in after. Okay, hang on. Let me give you this. Yeah, sweet. Great. So I'll show you an example in the chat. I'm just going to post this in the chat. Here it is. Hosts and panelists. No, everybody. Here we go.
All right,
Okay.
everyone, I'll include this in the follow-up email so you don't have to
Check out
worry.
that link. That's one of our clients that we do our Google My Business Management service for. And one of the big things that we do, because we're optimizing conversions, is the product section, because the product stands out beautifully in the search results. And so when you look in that knowledge panel, and then my hack, the little thing I discovered is the animated GIFs. So the animated GIFs, you can make these animated GIFs. Google will not let you upload a GIF. So the trick is to,
you see this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trick is to rename the GIF to .jpg. And then
come on.
So you just edit the extension. So you just edit the file name, change it from a GIF to a .jpg, and then Google let you upload it, and then you can have these beautiful animated GIFs in your products. And you want to stand out against your competition. It's a great way. So
movement, we know it matters. We see that with live chat. All right, last question. Dual language. Is it worth doing your marketing in both languages? Are you posting? Are you sharing? Are your descriptions bilingual? Does it matter?
Yeah, it depends on where you're located. So if you're like in a southern state that borders Mexico, and you've got a large percent of the population that's Spanish speaking first, as an example, I don't know, I guess if you're also in Quebec, then you want to make French.
Right.
But basically, I think there is value in doing it. It depends on how important that is to your business. I certainly see a lot of law firms that are doing like multiple websites. I don't know how much it impacts. I do think it probably
maybe conversion, because people have translators, but if you don't have to like click that button to translate, it might get you quicker to the page that easily already has it in both languages. Or
and you have to think
about it.
If someone types in personal injury lawyer Santa Fe, but they type it in whatever the Spanish words are for that, if you've got a page that's optimized for that, it's going to rank better than the English page. So it really is kind of a simple.
Or even in your descriptions, right? Like we do, personal injury law, se habla español, right? You might actually tag on something like that at least gives an indicating sign.
Exactly. So in your Google description, in your product, you want to mix and match a little bit of Spanish and English just to make sure you're kind of appealing to both markets. Yeah. Right.
Awesome. All right. Well, I'll let you go. Don't want you to get you in trouble with your family, but thank you so much.
If you have any questions, you can find me on Twitter at Darren Shaw _. You can also email me, Darren@whitespark.ca. If you'd like to hire us, just email our team over at support@whitespark.ca. We can help you with local search. We've got awesome software and services for that. And thanks a lot for having me, Maddie. It was fun. Really love talking about this stuff. So
yeah, same here. All right. Have a great rest of your afternoon. Thanks everyone for being here. Take care.
Okay. Thanks everybody. Bye.
Bye.